Another lawsuit has been threatened to somebody, to a completely different person this time. Now, previously we spoke about Brother Enigma being served a letter of demanding that he pull down the videos that he had, that were posted of him supposedly claiming that God told him there was no God at Pastor Mukuba's church. Now, to the recent one where I'm saying there's another one, it was from the camp of Zukiswa. So you'll remember, Zukiswa has been speaking about what God has supposedly told her, and she too had some words that were going out and supposing that some people are going to get some type of judgment. And you'll remember, Zukiswa, it's not the first time she gets this kind of a warning. This would be the second time she gets a warning. First, it was from Ayanda, who got tired of being labeled that he's sending people to hell singing about Imimoya. Now, I think that particular song, Imimoya, I don't know what the song says. I've just heard it, but I've never really said to listen to it. And so I'm not a music person. It's nothing against I just don't listen to a lot of music. And so that raised an entire thing, and that was one of the first time she got served a notice that if you continue with this line, we will deal with you. Now, I did mention in my episode, Ayanda is a lawyer, so he knows how to move that particular, to navigate that entire whole jazz, right? Now, recently we had Brother Enigma, when it was yesterday, the podcast received a letter, okay? And that particular letter was addressed at the crew or the interviewer at the studio and Brother Enigma. And that was saying, y'all have this episode where y'all claiming that God said this. We're watching you, okay? We're watching you pull that down. We don't want to be dealing with any of that nonsense. On the previous episode, I was kind of advising on the points. Now, there might be people that didn't see that particular part. Hey, I did mention in the video that these people don't watch nothing. So in the video, I was kind of advising on saying, on this point and this point and this point, you will lose this case if you were to decide to go directly at that, right? So if she says that you're spreading misinformation, and there's all these people, a very well recorded number of them, that actually believe this, that spells something for you, right? And so that was the advice that I offered on that video. On this video, we're talking about Zukiswa.
Attending a Revelation church. It is not a church, guys. In church. Guys, stop assuming things. It is not a church, that thing. Utatu Radebe called it a revelation spiritual home. Nini Jenny bizangecawe, guys. Nini. Guys, ingxaki is you to yourselves. Nina ni ingxaki kuni, guys. Umntu ufike athi revelation spiritual home. Nithi nina hayi siye esontweni. It is not a church. How many times has that guy that Radebe told you all over and over and over again, asiyocawe. Likhaya lomoya. Unixelele, guys. It's all in the word.
We received another one because she made a comment about the Revelation Church of God. Now, the Revelation Church of God, the church that she's calling out here, now she might have said certain things concerning them that they're like, hey, you know what? We're watching you.
Ukulwa lo muntu ongalwe lawe umthukulano Radebe bhekana lo mkhulu wakho lo Eliacha ongalazi nethuna lakho. Usisi Mvundla uphendula kwi-video apho abantu bakwa the whole church yakwa Radebe sent me eviction notices ukuthi I'm no longer allowed to speak about them. So she says, I'm the one obasukela. lalela wentombazana, lalela sis. Angiwadinga amathuna ka-Elijah vele, ngikhonza uNkulunkulu ophilayo mina. Angiwadinga amathuna. Amathuna abantu abafile, abantu abakhonza uNkulunkulu ofile babhizi namathuna. Thina esikhonza uNkulunkulu ophilayo, we do not need ithuna sis wami.
When that whole thing happened, she actually even made a response video doubling down, responding back to them. Now, that does not mean the Revelation Church of God is in the clear. The Revelation Church of God is a thing that has the Church of God in the name, but it's not a church. A Sangoma whole thing. It's a confusing one because you just don't understand. So what's happening here? So everybody, they are wearing all these Sangoma cloths. They claim to be talking about God. There was a period when he used to preach from the Bible. There was a whole period when he used to suppose to mix in between Bible and thingy. Now it's very rare you'll see a video of him even with the Bible. You most see him portrayed, I mean the public videos that they actually display. You'll more see him doing the swashos and the whatnots and all those things that he talks about, the water from the sea, whatever they use over the salts and everything. And so they are more distant to thinking. So there's a more direct way when it comes to biblical doctrine to tackle the particular subjects. And you can see that when you watch people like Bizrat Africa, he dismantles their discussions biblically. But then this new group of people, that's more difficult for them. Okay, I don't want to go into the scriptures and just talk about the scriptures because they understand. The scripture makes you look weak. For them, the scripture makes you look weak. They want a higher authority. They want position. So they come out saying, what? God told me. And that's where the Revelation Church of God came at her and tried to get her to stop publishing videos talking about them and the whole nine watches. Now, did anything happen? Nothing did happen. But the fact of the matter was that they actually did come towards her and actually said, don't do this. They understand what happens when people come out claiming they're speaking for God. And so in the first video and in this video, I really want to reiterate this. It says a lot when people come out and say, God told me. It's a different thing to me coming here and saying, you know what, I was reading the Bible and this is the verse that I read. It's a very different thing than when a person comes here and says, you know what, God told me this here. It creates it's a whole different feeling from what you have if I was just reading a Bible. It sounds like I have the direct authority to be speaking on the subject matter. So even they understand that. They just come out and claim that God told them something, and people are getting used to this thing that even if they feel strongly about something, they can just come out and say, God told me. It's just something that you felt strongly about. It's not necessarily the truth. It's something you felt strongly about. That's okay. If you come out and you say, I felt strongly concerning this particular matter, I understand that. But they don't do that. These Mandams, they come out and outright claim that God is the one that told them this. This is the part that's disturbing out of these things, and it's a new trend, and it is very disturbing because people feel strongly about something, or they have some dream or whatever, and they finally just resort to saying, you know what, God is the one that told me this. It's becoming a trend. You must be careful of these new gimmicks, this gimmicky Christianity, which fakes the legit. The Bible is enough. And if the Bible is not enough, what's going to happen is that people are going to take their strong feelings and claim that that's God talking to them, which is exactly what's happening with these people. And that's where I believe these supposed threats that are coming out here come from. It's from people that have done these tricks and they know the power of these tricks. And guess what? They would not have it played on them. Y'all tell me your thoughts down in the comment section. I thought this was quite an interesting one and worth having this particular conversation. And I'll see you on a later on episode. Other episodes down today, down in the pinned comments. Y'all have a blessed day.